So I've started here on the NISOD homepage because I want to show you how you would get to the portal so that you can look at it. And then I'll walk you through the actual portal and you can see some of the content. So if you scroll down the NISOD page to the bottom corner, you will see in this bottom right-hand corner the TeamUP Professional Development Portal with NISOD information. And if you just click on that, that will launch you to more information. There's a flyer on this portal. It talks about how excited we were to team up and really work with NISOD. I think, Brittany, did you want to talk just a little bit about what you heard from faculty about needing some professional development?
Absolutely. So Cengage Learning has been a longtime partner and friend of NISOD, and we're very excited to be working on this together. When Dr. Ed Leach took the position as NISOD's director last summer, his first initiative was to better understand the needs of the NISOD members. Through various outlets, including surveys, focus groups, we heard your need for CEUs and professional development loud and clear. And internally, we just don't have the ability to grant these types of education certificates that you guys are wanting and needing. And we knew it was important to our members. So we began to look externally, and our friends over at Cengage stepped up to meet your professional development needs. And they're actually offering 50% off of their TeamUP Portal through this link that Melissa's going to show us about today. So she's going to walk through a brief demo, and she's going to be the know-it-all behind the portal, but we just can't say thank you enough for this opportunity that you guys have given our members.
Oh yeah, no, we're thrilled to be working with you, and I like to be a know-it-all. That's a fun place to be. I'm not sure it's true most of the time, but I'll pretend it is, at least for today. So the first thing you'll notice when we go in is that we've listed right before the Access the TeamUP Portal button that the member pricing that's on the portal you'll see is already reflecting a 50% discount. So typically we charge $200 for a pod of content, but for NISOD member institutions it's only $100. So this makes the portal very easy to use, because if you're just an individual who wants to go in and buy one session, you can just go ahead and click on it, put in a credit card, and buy your session, because all of the discounts are already reflected. So if we hit Access the TeamUP Portal, what happens is you're asked to put in a username and password, and this, and Brittany, you can correct me, is a username and password that they've received from NISOD, correct?
Yes, so each member institution has a unique username and password. It's typically whatever your .edu. So I'm with the University of Texas, it would be utexas.edu, and then you'll have a specific password. If you don't know what that is, you can click cancel when prompted, and it will ask you to put in your .edu email, and it will send you the password. So it's pretty easy to get if you're not sure what your college's login information is.
That's great. And then it launches you right to this site, and I noticed several people have already registered here, so I think some people have been able to find this without any trouble. But if you're brand new to the site, you're going to start over here on the left where it says log in here, and it will open you up to a registration page. You can see to the right here, I'm a returning user, so in a minute I'm going to click login. But if you're a new user, you just simply fill out this information on the left. It really should be the first thing that you do is to create a registration page for yourself. It's free. There's no cost to it. It will give you the option to look around at some of the content. We have demos of things that you can access, and you can just get a feel for what the portal's like. So that's the first thing you want to do. I'm going to go ahead and log in since I'm already a registered user. No surprise there. And then I would like to start by showing you, it takes me automatically to all of the things that I own already. That's why you saw that page first. It will take you to this main page, which has information about the different types of activities that are available on this portal. So we basically have, across the middle of the page here, 3 big buttons. And these are the most valuable buttons to use to get a sense of what material exists in the portal or to navigate back to material that you're using. So we have 3 types of faculty development that are available. The first one is a conference library. So part of what TeamUP does is we put on national and regional events, several every year. And what we've been doing is capturing those events in a very interesting way. We record the events and we capture all of the audio, and then instead of videotaping the person who's presenting, and those of you who've been presenters will appreciate this, instead of videotaping them where you can see them tug on their sweater or swing their necklace or whatever other things we do when we're presenting, we only capture what's on the screen. So when you go into this conference library, what you will see is the screen that was up in front of the people who were in the conference session, and then you'll hear all the audio. And because one of our basic beliefs in TeamUP is that we shouldn't present at professionals, we should have a collaboration with them, we also capture all of the conversation that goes on in the room. So if we give an activity to a group of people in that conference session to work on, we then capture their responses in the microphone. So we have permission from our participants, and you really get the best of both worlds. You get to see what the presenter is putting out there, but you also get that opportunity to hear from your colleagues who were in the session and hear what's happening at other schools. So I'm just going to go into one to give you an example. This was a student success conference that we did in Chicago last June. And if you open it up, you can see this is the entire conference. So if you click on this, it will list every possible session that happened during that 2-day conference. And you can go through them. I have access because I'm logged in as myself, so it will let me go ahead and play a session. But if I weren't logged in, so if I'm you and you've registered but you haven't purchased any material yet, it will give you a chance to demo the session. So it'll play a short clip of the session. One of your options is to play the session. I'm just going to show you what it looks like so you have a visual of what I'm talking about. It might take just a minute to load. Unfortunately, my internet is a little slow this week, but it will load. And what it will load is what was on the screen. But I'll show you the player because I think the player is fairly interesting, and you'll get a sense of how we've captured these sessions. At least I hope you will. Here it goes. It's just going to load a little slowly. Okay, there we go. So this is what the player looks like. And
thank you for coming to session number 1. The title for this session is Applause for Technology, Transforming.
So that's just an introduction. And here's a video that was shown during the session.
Application. Can you apply mind mapping? Can you apply the Cornell method? Can you apply whatever method you think you could use with the way that you learn? And they apply. Here's an app that I like, Poplet. How many of you have ever used this in your class? Oh my gosh, you are going to love this app. This is so much fun. So I'm going to demonstrate in a few minutes. Poplet Lite is free. I actually have the Poplet, the full Poplet app. It's $3 now. You know, to some of my students, $3 might as well be $3,000. So I only use apps that are free for my students. By the way, if you...
So here's a sample of what you might hear in the session. So this was Sean Orr, one of our team members, doing a session about using apps in the classroom. So she demos a variety of apps. She talks about how she's using them in the classroom, and the participants in the session also discuss the way they're using apps or how they think they could apply the apps they've just discussed with her. So everything that happened in that session is captured, either the material on the screen or the speaking part. And then as you can see, you can fast forward the session. So if you can only watch 10 minutes of it one day and 10 minutes the next day, you can do that. And also if later on you're thinking, ooh, I really want to use that Poplet in my classroom, you can go back and re-listen to that portion and see. The handouts are included, so if there are handouts from the sessions, they show up here as well. You can bookmark, You can download a PDF of the slides, so if you want everything in print, that's possible too. So we have any questions on this piece yet, on the conferences?
We don't have any questions yet.
Okay. So if anyone has a question, please feel free to type it in as we're going. So that's the first section of the portal. The second session that we offer, or section that we offer, is professional online development, and these are self-paced multimedia modules. So unlike the conference library, where it was a live person presenting to a live audience, these are all recorded materials, but they're multimedia, and you can go at them in your own pace. And I know several people said they were interested in online learning, and that happens to be our very first pod here. So I'm going to take you into a module in online learning. So the first thing you'll notice is there are 5 modules in each pod, and you can purchase a whole pod for $100, or you can say, look, I'm really not interested in building community online. Well, of course you're interested in building community online, but you're already an expert in that area. But you do want to talk about setting up your online course, or maybe you are really very interested in aligning objectives in the online class. So you can choose to just purchase any individual module for $25. I'm going to take you into this first one, setting up your online course, so you can see what a module looks like. All of them have different content, but they all follow the same pathways. So in each module, there's an introduction, a quote me on this, so this is a quote about the topic, a knowledge check, and this is really a place for you to say, here's what I already know about this topic, here's what I'm trying to learn from this topic. There's objectives, there's an issue-based scenario, followed by a short animation. There's a brief article, there's an audio interview with an expert in the field, then there's a narrated slide presentation, and then there's an activity for you to take in your classroom and an assessment for you to take so that you can get your CEU credit. And we'll talk briefly about CEU credit later. But I'm just going to I reset mine so we could start over. But basically what happens is you read the introduction, you continue on to a quote. I'm going to move fairly quickly through these so I can show you a couple real activities. You complete a knowledge check. For those of you who might have a background in learning and education, this is sort of similar to a KWL. Then you submit the check. Oh, it's going to ask me to fill out the form and submit it. This is a ranking activity that you would do. Is my volume still good?
Yes, you're fine.
Okay, I got a little pop-up message just now that said I may be experiencing technical difficulties, so I wanted to check.
Oh no, everything sounds fine to me.
Okay, great. Then they list the objectives in each module, and then the module goes into a scenario. So there's a scenario listed, and it asks you to say, what would I do in this scenario? It's basically a case study, which gives you the opportunity to say, this is how I would answer this. After you submit the case study, it takes you to a video where 2 instructors or instructors and students, depending on the case study activity, actually work through the case study itself. So you answer the case study. Nobody corrects your answer because we know there are many terrific answers to how to handle any given situation. But then we do give you a short animation related to the scenario to show how one of your colleagues worked through this particular scenario. Then there's an article. I'm not going to take you through all of them just for time's sake, but then there's a brief article that was written specifically for this module about the concepts that really ties it into research. Then, like I said, there's a voice of experience. So we've interviewed an expert, done sort of an Oprah interview with them. And then there's a narrated slide presentation that's really about, okay, how do I take all this information now and apply it? Why does it matter? And then there's an actual activity for you to use before you go on to the assessment. So that was a very quick run through of modules. Does anyone have questions about modules?
No questions yet. You're just doing such an awesome job.
Or people have fallen asleep.
No,
I will tell you that really one of our tenets is not to talk at people. So when you're inside of the portal working through any of these things, they're very interactive.
We're getting people who are saying they are awake, so that's good.
Okay, excellent. I'm glad to hear it. I'm thrilled. So the third part of the portal are recorded webinars. And so just as a reminder, the conference library is a live presenter in front of a live audience. The pods are self-paced. Everything was created separately, put together into a pod by an educator for you to go through at your own pace. And then finally, the recorded webinars were live webinars that were delivered that we've recorded for you to go back and look at. So there are many of those. I'm just going to play one briefly. The player will look familiar to you because it's similar to what you saw with the conferences, but it'll give you a sense of what these are like.
Hello again. Welcome to the Reciprocal Classroom. My name is Damon Givehand, and I'll be both your moderator and facilitator for today's webinar. Before moving forward, I would like to take a moment to share with you a few programming notes. The first one,
so we will skip the programming note.
What you hope they walk away with. So I provided an additional slide, and I would like for you to take a moment in your own notes to write down what you really hope students get by the end of the term that they spend with you. Make today's webinar a very personal thing for you. Use this as an opportunity to really get your ideas out and gain some clarity around what your mission is in the classroom. So jot down as many objectives as you can think of that you hope students get by the time they finish an entire term with you. If you want to.
So this has a similar feel to the conference sessions, but these were delivered as webinars. So again, you're able to scroll forward and backwards to hear pieces again or to stop and pause. The speaker information is over to the left. There's a session description and other information. So questions, I think everyone knows what webinars are like. And what I will do is just give you a little peek at the list of webinars so you can see sort of the vast choices in webinars that exist. And we continue to add new webinars, so there'll always be updates appearing. You can see here teaching secrets that make students say wow, strategies for enhancing learning using the old and the new, lesson designs to bridge the generation gaps, how to break the ice, math. We have some things that are discipline specific, so we have math, we have successful classroom structures, just a whole host of webinars, the flipped model, assessment, all kinds of different topics that you might be interested in, and new webinars that will be added as we go. So those are the three sections of the content in the portal. Do we have any questions yet?
Not specifically about the platform. Victor asked if you could come be a guest speaker in his classroom in Los Angeles, Lancaster, or Palmdale. I think he's just trying to bribe you with all of those locations.
Yeah, that sounds great. I would love to do that, Victor. Yes. The answer is yes. I'm in Raleigh, where we're just starting to get fall, so it's not too bad here, but certainly I'd love to come to those beautiful places. So what I want to do next then, and feel free to go ahead and put in comments or questions about things that we've already covered. I'm happy to back up, and at the end I think we'll have some time for questions as well. I just wanted to show you a couple of other things that are really unique about the portal, and it's really this section that says your account. And when we designed this portal, we were really thinking that there were many, many faculty who couldn't come to something live. They couldn't even make a webinar because they were teaching at the time the webinars were delivered. They certainly couldn't get to a live conference because of travel or funding or teaching or, frankly, their lives. So we wanted a place where we could have this content for educators to access it. So unlike a lot of professional development sites, this content never goes away. As long as NISOD has this portal up, any content that you obtain is yours permanently. You can keep it, you can go back 5 years from now and look at it. You will always have it there. There are ways to take notes on it. It never disappears, so you truly, truly own it. And this account button shows some of these things. My library will show conferences you have and other things that you own. My webinars will list your webinars. My session notes is a place where you can take notes. And what I really want to show you is this CE transcript. But to do that, I'm going to take you into our regular portal because it's where I've done most of my work. And I can show you what a transcript looks like when it's well populated. So I'm going to just flip over to just the standard TeamUP portal for just a minute so I can give you a better visual.
And Melissa, we did have a question come in. Rich would like to know, is there a directory that organizes the content by theme? Could he build a curriculum around a theme using a combination of modules, webinars, etc.?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a search feature. So if you typed in, for instance, flipped classroom in the search feature, it would pull up everything across all three of those that was flipped classroom.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And you can also search, so here up at the top, here's where the search feature is. And if you click sessions, it will search by like flipped classroom. And if you click speakers, you can put in a speaker name. So if you know, for instance, that you watched a webinar by Damon Givehan and you thought it was excellent, and you want to see what else he might have on the portal, you can search that way as well.
Great. And Janice asked, for those of us who have never been able to attend the annual NISOD conference, is that particular conference available through TeamUP? And I will speak briefly on that. I know currently I don't think that we have intention of putting that information in the portal. We do provide those keynotes on the members only section of our archives on the website, so you can find some sessions. Melissa, do you know if you guys will be recording your sessions that you present at NISOD?
We probably won't because we typically record a whole conference when we do it,
Okay.
but maybe you and I could talk offline about the possibilities of recording.
Yeah, absolutely. Janice, thank you for bringing that up. We'll definitely talk about those considerations.
Yeah, it's a great idea. So, and we will be at NISOD this year presenting, so come and see us live too. It's a fabulous conference, one of my favorites.
Thank you.
So you're welcome, it really is. It's a terrific conference. One of the things about the CE transcript is it again populates forever. So every time you do anything inside of the TeamUP NISOD portal, it will add to your transcript. And you will also receive the CEUs automatically. And then you can do a couple of different things. You can view and print a certificate for just an event. So this one is for a virtual workshop. I'll show you what the certificate looks like. So if you create a portfolio for your college or university and want to demonstrate that, you can just put in a certificate to show that you did a specific thing. If it will load. Sorry, I don't know why my internet's so slow. So you can get an actual certificate that you put up that shows you have credit for that. Or, and this is typically what I do, you can view an entire transcript of all of the work that you've done inside of the portal. So each year you could take your continuing education units and you could demonstrate how many contact hours you received and what the session titles were that you did them for. So depending on how exacting the requirements are at your college, you have the ability to print out a more fully vetted certificate that shows everything about one session or a roll-up into a continuing education unit transcript. So it's just a terrific way to keep track. It also, and I don't know if you've ever had this kind of issue, but it also keeps you from re-signing up for something that you've already taken, because it will prompt you and say, look, you already have this on your transcript, and you can just go back in and watch it for free again.
Lisa has asked if
and it will show when things are completed.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did have a question from Lisa. She's asking if there are any plans to use digital badges for completion of modules, or if it's just the certificates there.
Yeah, right now, the closest thing we have to a digital badge is just this transcript report, because what we find is that most people need to take that report and put it someplace else. So they need to put it into a transcript, they need to email it to someone on their campus, and it's a really easy way to do this. It can go into your portfolio, you can email it to your chairperson or your dean or your president, whoever wants to see it. But I like the idea of badges. I use digital badges in my classroom, and my students love them, so I bet you use them too.
And Victor's asking I'm sorry, I'm going to start over. How did we get to this place? How did we get to the transcript from your account? It's just viewing your account.
Oh, sure. Okay, so over here on the left where it says your account, it's about halfway down, and it says CE transcript.
Great, thank you.
So everything in this starting box is really information about your account. It shows what you own. It shows any notes you've taken. It gives you a chance to add a conference code. If you come to a live conference of ours, you can get the conference for free afterwards, and we give you a code. So, and then you can also get a transcript. You can update your profile, change billing information, change your password, all of those fun things. So this left hand, I'm going to go back into the NISOD one so you can see what it actually looks like in yours. So it's the left hand box over here. Oh, I'm not logged in, that's why. But if I were logged in, let's see. There we go. I have too many tabs open.
And Janice has also asked, are there any professional development activities in TeamUP for department chairs or mid-level administrators, or is it mostly geared towards faculty?
Yes, so we have sessions in here geared specifically for people who are in management positions, and we have an entire spring lineup of community college webinars that are specifically for community college leaders. So I think you'll find those helpful too. And then we have a lot of information that I think crosses levels and disciplines that you might be.
Melissa, are you there? I think we may be having some audio.
Oh, did you lose me?
Oh, that's better.
Okay. And did you hear the answer to that question?
I think so. It just cut off at the very end.
All right. I think I leaned back too far in my chair. That's all.
No reclining, no reclining.
That's all right. No getting relaxed.
And
I was just happy to have all the questions.
We did have a question. Victor was asking about the website to get into this. I'm going to send to everybody right now. NISOD.org/teamup is where you can find our link to the portal. So you'll want to make sure that you go through NISOD so that you automatically have that discounted pricing. So I'm going to send that to everyone right now.
Okay, that's great. And I just wanted to mention that there are tutorials inside of the site. If you go to that button, I just clicked on it, so that you can find out more information about navigating the site. There's a short recorded demo that will help you get around. So you can certainly listen and watch this webinar again, but there's an actual navigational demo inside of the portal that's very, very helpful. And additionally, there is customer support for the portal. I'm pulling up that page, and you can call an 800 number between 9 and 5 Monday through Friday, or you can send in your question and they will get back to you. And there's also some frequently asked questions. So if you're encountering any kind of difficulty, there is a number to call and a support form to use specifically for the portal and accessing it. Now, if you have questions about the content or about TeamUP, then you can contact me. And if you have questions about NISOD and how that works, you can contact Brittany. And both of those are on the contact button inside of the portal. So if you push the contact button, it will send an email to my group and to Brittany, and then we can sort out who should answer it.
Awesome. We don't have any other questions right now.
Okay, I also wanted to mention, because we had a question earlier this week through email about buying a bulk purchase, so that if you are an administrator and you're interested in purchasing for your faculty, that's easy enough to do. You just need to contact TeamUP, and we can do it through a PO, or we can bill you. And then basically what happens is we'll give you an access code that you can give out to your faculty, and then they can go in the same way any individual would go in and register, but instead of putting in a credit card to purchase, they put in the access code. And we can set it up so you can direct them to specific information if you definitely want them to do the online pod, for instance, or we can set up a code so that they can choose. So if you wanted to give them the option to choose 3 modules or 2 webinars or whatever combination you'd like, it's completely customizable. So I think I've covered, yeah, most of the portal. Piper or Brittany, do you have things that you feel like I've missed that I should show?
I don't think so. I think that was a great rundown. And again, we are recording this and we're going to post it on the NISOD page so that you will have access to it to share with your colleagues, or just to reference later if you can't remember something that we talked about. And I did hear from our director, Dr. Leach, the question about the NISOD content from the conferences if you're not able to attend. We are looking for a way to provide CEUs for our webinars and our conference content in the future, but at this point we don't have that resource. So that's kind of one of the reasons that we've turned to Cengage now, is so that we do have those opportunities to earn CEUs at this point. But again, we do post the keynotes there on our website, so those are available if you'd like to view any archived keynotes. And we do, Victor has asked, is this iPad friendly?
Yes, absolutely. I think it's all tablet friendly. So I have an iPad, but if you're not an Apple person, it will also work on whatever tablet you might have.
Great. Well, let's see. Oh, we do have. Dr. Leach is telling me we also post our special sessions on the archives of our website. So we can't offer CEUs for them right now, but they are there if you want to see them. Hopefully in the future we'll be able to.
That's great. Well, maybe we can talk about that offline too, Brittany.
Yeah,
figure
absolutely.
out how we can partner on that. I would encourage everybody to go in and create an account. Like I said, you can see some demo content by doing that. I'm also happy to talk to anyone or take you through the portal individually if you need that, or for your campus. My name is Melissa Zantello, and the email address is very simple. It's just my name, MELISSA .Zantello, and Zantello is Z as in zebra, ANTELLO @cengage.com.
I'm going to send that. I think I can send that to everybody. So everybody should receive that. And then I will include my email address also, which you can find on the NISOD website if you have any issues. But this, if you have issues logging in through the NISOD page, accessing your college's password and login information, let me know and I can help you. And I don't think we have. Oh, this is an interesting question. Janice would like to know, you have a large library. Do you accept suggestions for future topics?
Yes, we'd love suggestions. So please send them our way. It's really how we've built the library. The truth is that we do a lot of work on campuses, and we do a lot of national conferences and recorded webinars, and faculty and administrators are always suggesting new possibilities to us. So we'd love to hear from you. And also, if you're interested in being someone who delivers a conference session or a webinar, please let me know, because we're always looking for great speakers too.
Awesome. Well, I think that is all. If you guys have any questions, feel free to email either of us or both of us. And if you guys wouldn't mind helping me give a virtual round of applause to Melissa and Piper and our friends at Cengage, we are very, very thankful for this partnership that we have with them, the opportunity to provide CEUs and professional development to our members. So everyone is saying applaud and hurrah and thank you. So we do.
Thank you, Brittany,
very much.
Thank you all for your attention.
Absolutely. Do you have any other closing words or anything before we head out?
No, I think that's it. And we hope you'll enjoy the portal, and you'll let us know which sessions you're interested in seeing in the future. And please let us know if you have any questions.
Great. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.